Philly Joe and Kirby podcast.
This is the Philly Joe and Kirby podcast.
How about this? $9,700 if you've been playing along with Who the Hell Is That? Your next chance is coming up at 6:30. If we don't get a winner then, it'll be 8:30 this morning as we get every inch closer to $10,000. But, man, that pimple could pop this morning. 9,700.
Don't say that.
You got to
Well,
pop
it's too
them,
late
though.
already,
You have
did.
to.
It's
It did.
What a metaphor.
Oh, man. Did you used to pop them or did you used to?
You're not supposed to.
You're not supposed to.
Really, eh?
That's what
remember
dermatologists
popping
say.
them.
Sure, me too. They hurt.
Oh, God, was that painful. Woo.
It's grad night.
Yeah.
You can't cover them all up.
It usually made it uglier if you popped it.
Well,
Like,
that's why you're
the
not
thing.
supposed to, because it just makes it worse.
Mm-hmm. But it doesn't. The fact of the matter is, you want it off your face. You look at it for a few days, and you're like, "No, I'm going for it. I'm going in."
Do you know what I love about the young kids these days? That now, I don't know if you've seen this, but they get these pimple patches. A lot of the girls,
Yes.
the young girls, and they'll just wear like they're like little happy faces or stars or like a little emoji.
They cover 'em.
And they cover the pimple and they just rock it.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
Sure,
Like they're just
yeah.
embracing it. And
Yeah.
these patches actually are good for the pimple. Like they have skincare stuff in them.
Yeah.
Pimples happen.
You're
you
not
know?
supposed to pop them because it'll scar your skin in the healing process. That's why we
Yeah.
weren't supposed to. But they were a big deal. You got to pimple it on the wrong day.
Oh,
There was no patch.
Always. Or you guys ever get cold sores? Get
No.
those once in a
I
while?
I had a
luckily
few
did
friends
not.
that get them. But
Yeah.
Man, that was terrible too. Anything along those lines. But listen, it's all normal. Talking to the kids out there. Don't worry about
Oh, yeah.
it.
It's all part of growing up. It's hormones.
You high school kids who aren't up right now. Anyway, we're talking to, I guess, junior high too. We're talking to you this morning. Don't worry about it.
I'll tell you what, a few people, so they used to have the old stories of, hey, man, you can't be eating a lot of chocolate if you have pimples and that kind of stuff, and then you find out that was a fallacy.
Oh, really?
You know,
That
eat
was a
chocolate
myth?
bars?
I always thought sweets was
Yeah,
was
apparently.
greasy food and sweets was
I think it was more genetics. I don't know.
okay.
I'm not a doctor.
But I did feel like it makes your face greasier when you eat bad food, and that could
Yes.
be something that could
Be oily.
Could I'm oilier,
Well,
but
you're not supposed to be touching your face after eating greasy food either.
well, your face you just feel greasy when you eat,
Yes,
whether you touch your
yes.
face. No, I'm not taking my hands, Kirby.
That's where he wipes
and
them,
rubbing
not on
it
his
all-
shirt.
Really, all these years when I'm done eating a Whopper
You
or a
look
Big
so-
Mac, I take my hands.
You look
and
glistening.
I gotta get some of this
like
Big Mac
war
grease.
paint.
I put all over my face. Where were you when I was younger, Curbs?
Philly Joe Kirby
Philly Joe and Kirby.
podcast.
The Philly Joe and Kirby podcast.
Yeah, Sunday morning in God Bless Howard Mansion. Specifically, you have Woodstock, Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young. Brings a smile to an old man's face. Okie dokie.
A, it's amazing how many people we get telling us that on the bone phone and otherwise. And B, nice to hear from old Eddie. We haven't heard from him in a while.
No kidding. And you notice Saturday's his day at the Legion. He told us that with the meat draws and everything else. So the Sunday morning resurrection fits right into his weekend plans.
Got a tight schedule, old Eddie. But a lot of older guys do. They got older people. They know what they're doing.
The old calendar, Phil.
Yeah, baby. Cliff Clavin wants to talk about how he gets his weather information. And this is not surprising.
Yeah, so Weather Network, Doppler radar, all that kind of gobbledygook. No, none of us care about what that stuff says. No, we want to know what Joe's knee says.
All of us, don't we all? How is the knee?
It's the most reliable form of weather prediction.
Well, I don't know about that, but the knee's not bad, actually. It's the lower back
What
that
is
was
that?
causing me issues
no.
last week.
What did you get up to this weekend that caused
Nah,
that lower
it's
back
been
injury?
bugging me for four or 5 days last week.
Deadlifts.
It's called being old.
Would you settle down on the deadlifts at the gym?
I ran out of chalk. The weight slipped. The bar, the handles.
Well.
Shut up. With deadlifts. I'll be deadlifting my ass out of bed.
But does that tell you anything about the weather, the lower back, or was that just like
I know. I
Okay.
think that was just being me, being old. But I'll tell you right now, weather is not going to be too bad. We told you what the Weather Network told us last week. It's looking like March and April are still going to be kind of a roller coaster. Look at the temperature right now, minus 12, but a high of 3 today, right?
I'm cold.
It depends on the wind, but May. Start looking forward to May.
And I keep saying this, but we haven't had a bit of snow, but not that giant dump where we need the plows out. So
That's not in the forecast either for the next little while.
Consider ourselves lucky because it's not crazy to get one of those in March and even April.
Right.
Okay, this chef wants to talk. I would say his number one pet peeve, and it continues to be, and he's not alone, is people without their lights on.
Turning your lights on. I know this is a big topic because a lot of us out there are stupid and they don't know how to turn their headlights on or have their running lights on. There is a lever behind your steering wheel on the left-hand side, and it has a little dial that you can turn. Most cars have 3 or 4 dials on it. The one that actually turns your lights on, and in most cars turns your lights off after you stop your car, is a little indicator that has and looks like a flashlight. You all should turn that dial on. Granted, if you have an older car, this may not be an option. However, you can turn that dial and this will turn your lights on. This is very important, especially in the morning when it's still dark. Thank you. Have a great day, Winnipeg.
Yep, saw a ninja car. That's what I'm going to start calling them. No lights. None of the lights were on Ravenhurst turning on to Pandora this morning, leaving Canterbury Park. No lights at all. Just buzzing along.
I witnessed a vehicle over the weekend in the evening realize that their lights weren't on. And it was such a beautiful moment.
That's nice.
I was like, oh, they realized, driving down the perimeter
But
with absolutely no lights that they, needed to turn them on.
They must have amazing eyesight because it's hard enough to drive in the city with the street lights we have some days without lights on. Could you imagine that? The perimeter or even on the highway? Wow.
Let's wrap with Vinny, who is, it doesn't take much for Vinny to get worried about the Jets, put it that way.
Yeah, so what's going on with the Jets? They played like crap that game against Buffalo. The problem with the Jets, they were playing the old style like they were. Pass, pass, pass. I mean, it's okay to pass 1 or 2 times, but then you shoot it. Might get a lucky bounce. They passed way too much. I remember that one dude, he had the puck right on net. It was fairly close. What does he do? He passed it to the other guy. He says, "What are you doing? Why did you pass it to the other guy?" And the other Jet, he missed the pass. And if they don't straighten out, they'll be out first round. I guarantee it. They got to go back to where they were playing, shooting. They were shooting like crazy. Shoot it, pass, pass, shoot, or maybe don't pass sometimes and shoot the puck. That's how you win games. But I'm a little worried, so
strategy.
I hope they make it. Don't want to sound negative, but we'll see what happens in the next game. I say the next game is a must-win.
Must win.
I'm a little confused. It's against Washington tomorrow, by the way. I'm a little confused as a person that bets on these games and does some prop betting once in a while. I got to look up who the other dude, and the other Jet are when it comes to shooting and passing, because I'll tell you right now, they had a lot of shots on net yesterday.
Outplayed Buffalo badly.
They faced a pretty good goaltender, but anyway, good
I
on Vinny.
understood his play-by-play.
Yeah? Pass, shoot.
Pass, shoot, and then sometimes you just got to shoot.
The other guy.
The Philly Joe and Kirby podcast.
Great song. I want to break free. Queen in the spotlight this week. That is going to be some great music here at 92.1 City.
It was interesting this weekend, too, because a few things kind of came down as a Friday night. We were talking to Shane Torres, remember the comedian who was at Rumors?
Mm-hmm.
Great dude.
Off the air, we were talking about boxing. And I brought up the situation with George Foreman. Mm-hmm. And I said how he started his career as the bad guy because of Muhammad Ali and the personality, and how I think boxing is missing a lot of personality now. And then George Foreman broke through later in his career with his personality, that he was just a good old boy, right, who was having a great time, comes up with the George Foreman grill, and they really used his personality. But then he passes away, 76.
Is it rumors that it was a heart attack? Like that one.
There's no family address yet to what went down in his death, but at 76, too bad.
It's interesting about Foreman is he was a bad guy early in his career,
and a lean, mean machine.
Yes, like an absolute
killer,
destruction force. early, like a wrestling term, heel. Like
Yes.
when he fought Ali back in the
was
day,
the bad guy.
he was by far the bad guy. And then later on in his career with his comeback, he became the lovable good guy.
Yep.
It's crazy.
You guys remember him for his iconic, legendary boxing career. For me, it's the grill.
Yeah, for a lot of people as well. And I mean, why not? They sold like over 100 million of those grills. And out of those 100 million, everyone that bought one complained about one thing. They're hard to clean.
Hard to clean.
But the grease trap was
Yes.
the best.
and it stunk up your kitchen. It made you feel like a short order cook at a
Okay,
Smitty's.
okay,
Like,
but best grilled cheese sandwiches on that thing.
Yeah.
And
Burgers.
it got me through college. Like I swear to God, I cooked most of my meals on that George Foreman grill.
Sure.
I didn't make any grilled cheese on there. I'm going to be honest. Grilled cheese.
It's like a panini press thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was more of a
Burgers.
chicken breast or burgers on
Yeah.
there, you know.
yeah.
But grilled cheese, I mean, I've never had it. You could cook a grilled cheese on a radiator. I'm not going to complain about it. The grilled cheese is good anywhere, right? You get melted cheese with that grilled bread.
How did you get these grill marks? From my rad right there by the window.
This is the Philly Joe and Kirby podcast.
Apologies to Tyson Kozak and his entire family. Not to be confused with Tyler Bozak, also an NHLer. At least I used.
Yep.
At least. Anyway, thank you, Joe, for correcting me. Souris, Manitoba's Tyson Kozak scored his second NHL goal last night. I don't even know where. Is
so
Tyler
good.
Bozak even still playing? I don't know where he's
He
at.
might
I'll have to Google him, see what he's up to these days.
Well, Mama and Papa Kozak were in the stands last night, which has to be cool when you know your son is playing, and all of a sudden he gets a goal and is like, "Hey, Tyson scored," and they got up and cheered like there were some Buffalo fans there. Kirby was in attendance too, and you weren't wearing any Sabres gear though. So, but I noticed there was a couple wearing Detroit Red Wings jerseys in the stands. It's like
Really?
there's always someone.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I'm wearing my favorite team's jersey
Yeah.
even when they're not playing, guy.
Yeah.
No, I love that. I paid good money for this Wings jersey. I don't care if they're not playing. I'm wearing it. Support the team.
I was surprised how many Buffalo fans were sitting in the area that I was. But yeah.
Okay, I want to play this call for you guys. It's from Big N, a regular on the show. He left it on the bone phone, and it involves like a skill you wish you were better at.
I'm just looking at Facebook and watching reels and whatnot, and seeing a lot of videos of Christopher Walken, people doing impressions of Christopher Walken and stuff like that. And I'm watching them. I'm thinking to myself, man, like I really wish I could do a really good impression of just about any actor or famous person or whatever. But what I've always thought about, and I've always said this many, many times, is what I am most envious of is people who have artistic talent. I wish I could draw. And I don't know if that's common things. Never really cared whether I could sing or dance or, run really fast or anything like that. But people could. I had a best friend growing up who could draw like just about anything he wanted. And I was always very jealous of that. Anyways, hope everyone has a great week. Rock on, Big N out.
Drawing. I'll tell you, I'll say this just before. Joe, you are good at impressions.
Not bad. Depends.
You're pretty good.
Yeah, try.
But yeah, Big N wishes he was better at drawing. Like he was just naturally inclined to be a good drawer. For me, I wish musically inclined. Now, there can be an argument made that I never really worked hard enough at it, whether it's being inclined or you just aren't interested enough to work hard at it. But, some people, it seems like they just pick up a guitar and start playing it, and they teach themselves. And
By
that would be-
ear.
Yeah.
Learning.
That would be
Well,
pretty neat.
You play music, Kirby, or I don't? Well, maybe not anymore, but you used to play piano growing up. That was a skill. Well, how about you?
Yeah. I mean, well, I like Phil said, I think I got lucky, like singing and music kind of came naturally to me, but I wish that I had more like skills in terms of like being able to fix stuff around the house.
Oh, yeah.
Or
yeah.
like the vehicle.
Like where
you know?
Yeah. Like
Mechanically inclined.
Yes.
that would be cool, too. Like some people just look at something.
And they just know how to fix it.
Yes, they don't barely need to read the instructions.
Yeah.
They can just
Mind-blowing.
pull stuff out of a box and go, I don't need the
Have you checked
instructions.
this? What's this? Like they ask you all these questions because they know how it works and they know the ins and outs, and it's like I barely know how to like look up what to even ask.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's like a parent that, like, that is also that way. or mechanic as a father.
I will
or-
say that, like, my dad did try with the vehicle. Like, I give him points. Like, he did, pop the hood and try very hard, and even tried with the tire changing situation, and I just had no interest. But if I could go back,
You'd pay more attention.
I'd pay more attention because now I'm
be
an
nice.
adult, and I'm like, well, I guess this kind of comes in. No wonder he was trying to teach me these things.
Yeah. Made sense. Would have saved me a lot of time.
No kidding.
And those poor people at CAA, a lot of phone calls.
Oh, my God.
I grew up with a father who was an electrician, trust me, and he was mechanically inclined, and the looks you'd get when you couldn't pick up what he was delivering.
Right.
Yeah, so that never happened. But yeah, that'd be a good skill set to have. I wish I could sing, though.
Sing?
Yeah, because I sing all the time. I'm just not very good at it. Right? So if I had the skill, because I can pay somebody to fix things.
Yeah.
I just
Can't pay someone to come sing for you?
Well, listen, drawing. How bad was this? When I was going to school in kindergarten, they gave you the fattest pencil possible for the smallest your hand's ever been to draw. You remember that? It was, and then as you got older, the hand got bigger and the pencil got thinner, and it was like there might be a problem with this.
This is the Philly Joe and Kirby podcast.
Be a good person.
Rate or review this show wherever you subscribe and get PJK into more ears.
Curbs, I think you can adjust the temperature on our during renovations here to get the studio ready here on Scurfield. The studio there, and look, not the first building to have some issues when renovations are done. It's one of those things. It can happen anywhere. So there was a problem with in this new studio we're in, wonderful studio, but with the heating and cooling.
Ventilation.
So they had to do some on-the-fly repairs to make it more livable in here because it was way too hot in here for a while.
Well, we're all coming in towels.
Yeah.
Like you're in a sauna.
So, right, great job.
You left your flip-flops here, by the way,
Yeah, Phil, pick them up.
from October.
We were getting. It was like a sauna. It was your own personal sauna,
Yes.
which is nice. Who doesn't want a sauna in their home?
I love sweating it out during the show
Yeah.
with you, too.
But at work, you don't want to come to work in a sauna. So they had to fix it, and they did a kind of on-the-fly sort of what they could. Bottom line, long story short, we have what amounts to a air conditioning unit here in the studio.
Portable.
One that is exactly the same as I have in my apartment.
Right. And Kirby is unhappy with being situated right beside this air conditioner. So she's not so subtly letting us know almost every day that she's freezing. And then because Joe controls the temperature in here, I'm fine, like on a day-to-day basis, but I'm far away, like I'm across the room from said air conditioner. So it winds up being
I'm sitting next to it like we're on the bus.
Joe versus Kirby on the temperature.
I have a vent
Joe's
right
hand.
above my head.
Why are you raising your hand?
Because I have a vent right above my head, and I'm wearing a T-shirt.
I thought he was raising his hand because he wanted to talk.
To be honest, I have not controlled the temperature on that unit. It is set. I've shut it off and on before, but it should be set at about 22 degrees.
Yes, and what is it at right now?
I have no idea.
Because she's been...
It's at 22 degrees.
Here's the best part. Kirby walked in here.
It's blowing cold air.
Well, that's what it does because there's too much hot air in this room. But here, I'm just going to throw this out there. The person complaining in question walked into work today at minus 12 degrees wearing a jean jacket as the outerwear. Sitting down in the jean jacket, been complaining since they came into work this morning that they're cold.
Well, it's cold outside, too.
I have to believe this
Outdoors,
is not
Tim.
really
That can happen.
my problem.
That can happen outdoors.
Someone wearing a jean jacket outside and inside complaining that it's cold. My sympathy level has to be close to zero.
It is at zero, let's be honest.
I think what would help this morning is if share your stories. Is your workplace too cold or too hot? Do you have these kinds of beefs in the home? Do you have them at work or at home? Because you got to know. I mean, there's offices all over town with little floor heaters in them, because they don't like the temperature. Certain people keep the office at.
I've even looked at getting a heated blanket for my corner over here.
You know what? For the amount of complaining you're doing, I'll pay for the blanket. I'll tell you right now. Hey, this came in on the Boston Pizza text line, but she dresses the way she wants for the weather.
You did divulge
Yes,
that last
you
week.
did.
Yeah, I dress for the weather that I want, not the
Yes.
weather we have.
That's right.
I know this.
Could you imagine if she put a portable heater right beside the portable air conditioner?
The Philly Joe and Kirby podcast.
Yeah, so the story goes that this happened in a parking lot, St. James Street near Wellington Avenue on Saturday. So this is about 2:30 in the afternoon, and a woman is standing in a parking spot, holding the parking spot in this parking lot for her family, who apparently are just making their way in through the parking lot. We've seen that before happen. Hockey rinks, Costco, Kirby.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it happens at Costco.
Busy parking lots. And this one woman pulls in and says, well, hey, I'm here first. Get out of the way, lady.
You can't hold a spot.
Can't hold a spot. And they get into a bit of an argument. This woman allegedly ends up driving, according to the news stories, runs over this person with the vehicle in that parking spot. So there's a collision, and I guess this woman that gets hurt is in stable condition in the hospital with lower body injuries. And now I don't know if there's any broken bones or whatever. That's just the police report that we're getting from news sources. So anyway, the woman gets arrested and charged with assault with a weapon and driving carelessly under the Highway Traffic Act.
And she had taken off, too. Like, after she did.
Like as if nothing happened.
Like, oops,
You
maybe
can't
I shouldn't
just
have.
run over someone and go about your day.
Like, probably
What the
realized,
hell?
I got to get out of here. That probably shouldn't have done that one. Like, whoa, they're going to find you.
Your
God.
license plate alone, as the person's on the ground as close to the license plate as possible, you pop them with it.
Look, you may not like it that they're holding that spot.
Crazy.
That's your prerogative, but you can't be going out there. Like, take a deep breath and running people over.
What is it about parking lots, though, that it's just, you see it all the time, whether it's somebody indicating they want a spot with their turn signal or standing in a spot. Like, people get aggressive in parking lots. Like, man, check your entitlement. We're all going to park somewhere in the parking lot.
Yeah. Is it like, look, you're facing charges now. Is it really worth it over a parking spot?
Yeah, no kidding. This woman obviously
embarrassing,
hits this
honestly.
level of rage, probably is lost to what's going on. I don't know. That's something a little interesting. I'll tell you what, though. I used to get a kick going to the Refit Center, for example, as a gym. They had a track there and everything else, and people would circle around the parking lot, and it's a big parking lot, to look for the closest place. So they have the less walk going into the gym to walk the track. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I would see that at Planet Fitness all the time.
Yes.
Like, I would be in the gym parking lot. I'd be like, oh my God, we're all going to the gym. Meanwhile, you got Buddy trying to find the closest parking spot.
yeah.
Now, would you even get into a verbal dispute with somebody in a parking lot if you thought, like, let's just say, okay, forget the fact that she ran this woman over. You know, clearly you can't do that. She's in the wrong. She's facing charges. But if you pulled up and somebody was holding a spot, would you even say to them, "Hey, you can't"? Like, do you think they shouldn't be able to do that? Like, or is that?
I wouldn't have a
don't run into
problem.
that. I don't run into that. So I've never run into that where somebody's standing in a spot saying, "I'm holding this."
The only time I would get a little worked up, and I've said this on the show before, is if you're trying to get my parking spot before I'm ready to leave.
Oh, we've heard this
Yes.
before.
Yeah, that's different.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
if somebody is saving a parking spot, I would just keep on going and look for a different spot.
I guess it would depend. I'd probably get a little fired up if there was nothing around and I don't see another vehicle. Like, if the vehicle is two behind me, and it's coming and the person held a spot, I don't know if I'd argue with the person. I wouldn't be happy about it that the spot was taken. But is the same thing maybe if you're in line? Do you like people holding a spot in line for somebody if you're waiting to get in somewhere too?
Not Jen.
So I don't know. Is that any different than this, really?
It's the same concept, I guess.
Or a seat, holding a seat at
Yeah.
a movie theater. Sign.
Yeah.
T. Kona says on the text line, Tim's on Pandora. A guy rams another guy trying to make the zipper merge in the lineup. There
But
was
that's
video.
the thing. Like, you're all going to get through eventually.
I got verbally assaulted in that zipper line. So this story, as crazy as it is, does it surprise any of us that this has happened?
No.
That there's this kind of rage in a parking lot over a parking spot?
Unfortunately.
Super unfortunate. But it is what it is.
A lot of people
It is what
commenting
it is.
It is
on
what
the
it
Boston
is.
Pizza text line. That's maybe what the woman said. Hey, it is what it is.
This is the Philly Joe and Kirby podcast.
What basic skill or knowledge should every guy know? The survey was taken. What basic skill or knowledge should every guy know, but probably doesn't? Okay? What basic skill or knowledge should every guy know, but probably doesn't? 2,000 guys were asked.
They should know it, but they don't.
Yeah.
780 City, good morning.
Philly?
Phil, you're one of those guys. Basic skill or knowledge that you should know, but probably don't.
How to operate a defibrillator.
That's a good one.
Very specific.
Playing rec
but-
hockey. or
Yeah,
something.
no, for sure. You're involved with hockey.
Yeah.
No, not in the top 5.
780 City, good morning.
Philly?
Well, yeah, no problem. What should we know, but we don't? Our wife's favorite color.
No.
That's not bad, though.
What basic skill or knowledge should every guy know, but probably doesn't?
Phil.
That's so good.
Well, if you're ever buying her a shirt.
No,
Or a
100%.
dress or something.
Who doesn't want a shirt?
I'm going
as a
shopping for a
gift?
shirt for you today. I don't know your favorite color, though.
Surprise.
I got you this
Look at
blouse.
this blouse.
You would say that.
would
You
you-
would say the word blouse.
What's wrong with a blouse,
Wait till
Kirby?
we talked about this. It's very. No one says blouse
I
anymore.
might buy you a blouse someday.
Oh, please don't.
Hi, City.
At the Bay. Liquidation sale starts today.
Look what I got you, Kirby.
The blouse.
Hi there.
Is it how to tie a tie?
That is number 2.
Oh!
Number 2, my friend. How to tie a tie.
You were.
I just figured it out.
that's right,
A couple
Joe.
weeks ago. One good old video on YouTube.
You can still teach an old dog some tricks,
Yeah.
hey?
That's
Look
it.
at that. Coming at Joe with the old dog this morning.
That's it.
Hi, City. 780 City, 780 2484 for Beach Boys tickets. Go ahead with your guess.
Hey, is it how to sew?
So,
No. Hold on. Sewing a button is on here too, but it's number 1, 2, 3. Number 3. How to sew. How to sew a button. So we know how to check the oil, how to sew, how to tie a tie. Those are on the top 5, but not the number 1 answer.
good morning, City.
Mornings of changing a tire.
No, that's on the list here too at number 4. So how to sew a button, how to change a tire, how to check the oil, how to tie a tie.
780 City, 780 2484. Hello.
I'll go with Philly.
Phil, lifeline number 3.
Can't wait.
Listen, Curbs. That blouse is in the mail. Would it be? Do you and I know how to do this, Joe?
You do for sure. Me, not so good.
Wow.
You're really good at it.
I am.
Yeah.
Jeez, there's not.
I'm really good at it.
Yep.
Kirby's like, what the hell is Phil really good at?
I know, you're really. The bar is high. I don't know.
You guys bug me about it all the time.
Is it something to do with yard work? Or,
No.
Well, I don't know. Because you.
Joe's out there with a wheelbarrow.
That's true.
I'll tell you, the best thing that happened in my life was Princess Auto.
Yeah.
I was able to buy that 4-wheeled wagon.
Laundry?
No, not laundry.
Phil's so good at
Well,
laundry.
I'm kind of stumped.
No.
I'm sorry, I'm stumped.
Nope. That's okay. I'm going to give everybody a clue now, since we're on a fresh slate here, okay?
Yeah.
This has more to do with something you would do at a table or a desk, okay?
I think I know.
It's not pleasing a woman because
Well,
that's come up on the text line.
Finding that spot is not a basic skill or knowledge that every guy should know, but probably doesn't. Most of us know.
Hot dog guy.
Do you?
Hey, this is my survey.
Okay.
Hot dog guy on the text line said if Phil's really good at it, it's got to be relations. Look at that.
We bug Joe all the time because he's not good at his relations with
That's
Christy.
right. It's terrible. Can't believe it.
Good.
How much you guys
Phil's
bug me
so
about
good at
that.
it, though.
Oh, good morning.
Hey, I'm not coming home with a blouse
Good morning.
every 2 weeks. That's what the key is.
Can I take a lifeline?
Yeah.
I'll take Philly. Sounds like he's got something.
Yeah.
Something.
Typing.
Typing.
Ladies and gentlemen,
No.
what
Stop.
basic skill or knowledge should every guy know but probably doesn't? How to type on a keyboard properly.
A good guess, Phil, because Joe
What do you mean,
does.
good guess. It was a great clue.
The clue gave it away because
Yeah,
we
the
always
typing, yeah.
we tease Joe with the finger typing
I
all the
use
time.
2 or 3 fingers at best. Phil's
Yeah.
typing away like he's working like a court case there. What's that job? Stenographer or whatever? And the accused.
There's lots going on over here, okay?
I'm telling you.
The Philly Joe and Kirby podcast.
Hit us up wherever you get this podcast and rate and review the show.
Good fortune will come to you.
Actually, we can't promise that, but we'll cross our fingers.
$9,800. That's a big number that could be given away in 20 minutes on Who the Hell Is That?
Wow, we're getting up there. Throwing rocks at 10K. Imagine winning 10K. That'd be outstanding.
Be a nice little, going into spring. I mean, there's a lot of people that could use $10,000.
I gotta be honest. Sorry, Joe. I could use 10K in the winter too, but I see what you're saying. Maybe there's more things you could use it on in the spring.
Yeah, I mean, you're like a lot of people are doing spring cleanup, and
Fix your deck up.
Yeah.
I don't want to consider money seasonal. I'll take it any day of any month. And I will say this.
Just spring.
Even if it's $9,800, I'll just tell people it was close to $10,000. That's a good number.
Oh yeah, I mean,
I don't need to round up here.
No, that's fantastic. We got the bone phone coming up too, where Vinny is quite concerned, Dr. Hockey, about the Winnipeg Jets and their loss last night. But it doesn't take him much to get worried. I'm not. I mean, you listen to head coach Scott Arniel, and he's very honest about the team. He's he'll tell you. If they were bad, he's going to tell you. And he was not worried at all. Of course, the Jets outshot the Sabres badly. Way more shots towards the net, which is the new stat.
Yeah, they had some quality shots on net yesterday, too. Good crowd on hand yesterday, which was nice to see, too. This will be an interesting week with Ovechkin in town tomorrow night. And then, of course, New Jersey. But that Sunday afternoon game next week sounds pretty good, too. There's a lot of kids in the building yesterday, if you noticed.
Yeah.
So next Sunday could be a big family day, too. And with the Canucks, that could be a first-round matchup. Two
Preview.
first-place teams tomorrow night. So there's a lot of attention at Canada Life Center this week for hockey.
Did you get some tachos yesterday at the game, Curbs?
No, but I saw this one woman walking down the stairs
With
to
tachos?
her seat with tachos, and I'm not going to lie, they looked pretty damn good.
Dude, they're heavenly. Like, how do you not? Now, there's meat on there, but you'd have to
you could get it without the
hold
meat.
the meat.
But, like, they look, and they give you a hefty portion
Oh,
there.
yeah.
Like,
You're eating those for like 3/4 of a period.
Yeah, like, I was kind of shocked at how many tachos you get in that serving there, so.
So you didn't buy any after seeing that? Like, that's crazy.
No, I stuck to the popcorn.
Oh, that's a good
I
buy.
love the popcorn
That's a
at
good
Canada
buy.
Life.
Yeah.
You ever seen anything in your life? It's Joe going at popcorn. Like, the
Yes,
guy's
he
not a
does
messy
like
eater.
It's like the
Popcorn.
last bag on earth. I'll tell you that right now.
Philly Joe Kirby.
Philly Joe and Kirby.
Podcast.
The Philly Joe and Kirby podcast.
PJK Extra. Kirby, what was that stat you just gave us?
75% of us swear when we stub our toe.
I would have said like 96%.
Oh yeah, at least half a swear. Like before you restrain yourself from the rest, or refrain, I guess is the word, not restrain.
Yeah, get out like a mother.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
studies have found that swearing can help with like pain tolerance.
Yeah.
Oh, I buy it. Yeah. Well, you guys will remember I injured my toe pretty bad. Like a few months ago. I was hobbling around because I stubbed my toe so bad.
It must have been broken, and they won't put a cast
No.
on it. He just has to naturally heal. But
I tried to get in to see
gutted
some
it out.
surgeons, but they wouldn't see me with my toe. Like
I know. I'm surprised you took time
busy.
off of work, as important as your toe is.
I wanted
for
some
what you
x-rays.
do every day. You gutted it out, man. You're tough.
Tough. But do you guys have like within your home? Do you have lots of areas where you can stub toes? Banging knees. We only have a queen in our bedroom, in our master bedroom, my wife and I, but it's not the biggest master bedroom because we have a nice ensuite, which I love.
But it takes up space.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there are some areas to stub some toes and bang some knees on the edge of the bed.
It's my bed when I make it. It's the railings on the holding up the box spring.
Yeah, on the shin.
Like, oh my God.
That's a tough one. The shin's another one that hurts.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, this is why
bone
people
on bone.
should stop making their beds, you know?
That's why you just leave it some days.
Well, not really, but like I'm very aware of it. Like I always forget though, and like that's when it happens is you let your guard down, you forget that you got to watch your toes or whatever, and then you nail it.
Bang.
Yeah, I guess the bed has to be the number one toe stub incident area, right?
So, yeah.
It'd have to be coffee table, maybe a second.
Probably the knee.
Yeah, maybe furniture. Well, no, but the legs on a coffee table, right? Yeah. Could be. I don't know. Furniture. I'd say the bed has to be number one.
Mm-hmm.
Most toe stub incidents.
When I was little in daycare, this kid tipped the table over onto my toe, broke my toe. Like,
wow.
It actually had to get the nail. The doctor had to pull the nail off.
Oh, wow. It
with
was
needle nose. Well, it wouldn't have been needle nose pliers. But it would have been whatever medical tools. And my dad was there with me. And he tells me to this day it was one of the hardest things because I was in so much pain. I must have been 4 years old. And
little Philly,
I was
the
a
kid
pain.
at daycare,
and he was
so a table.
Oh, he was mad at the kid. My old man returned to the scene of the crime and demanded answers from the lady who was babysitting.
Daycare.
Don't blame him.
That's good. Lucky for you. You ever tell my mother you were putting me in daycare? Are you kidding? She barely wanted me to go to school like kindergarten.
She wanted her JoJo on her side. That's PJK Extra.
For more Philly, Joe, and Kirby, lock it into 92.1 City weekday mornings 6 to 10.